Just waiting to see if people will be coming in to visit me. Yeah. Um, Hello, everybody. This is Pamela checking in on a video vlog. No, this isn't a podcast. Just a quick check in to let you know how things are going in terms of the project that I was telling you about, the the satin cape that I was trying to tell you about. I got in touch with the woman today, and she said it might be mailed out to me by tomorrow or Tuesday. So hopefully it'll be here this week, but I'll keep you posted on that. I wanted to let you know that my health is somewhat good. My ankles are a little swollen. Why, I don't know, but hopefully it'll clear up soon. But I'm doing about as well as can be expected. Kind of staying inside, away from the dangerous element outside. Um, but on my last video on my podcast, where I talked about what was going on with the show and how I felt about Bob and some of the projects that I wanted to do to memorialize Bob McGrath, because he was my top guy going to Sesame Street. Let me adjust the camera here so you're not getting mostly the computer desk here. But yeah, I thought I'd get on here today and show you the bear that I had made in memory of Bob McGrath. See? This is my little buddy I sleep with almost every night now. He's soft, cuddly, and good for catching tears when you want to cry at night. As I've said, the last several videos that I've done for Bob McGrath are some of the hardest things that I've ever had to do in terms of putting together tributes. In fact, there's a song that I used on one of the tributes. I think it was the mini tribute that I did. One of the songs actually spoke to me because it's about your fellow man being your shelter. If you're having a downtime in your life, if you've got a good person in your life that is there for you, that's what the song is about. And that's what I thought of in terms of Bob McGrath. But the story on how I found the song is something that I want to talk about here real quick. It was based on a video that I found of a young man having an honor walk. As they say, honor walks are for those that are donating their organs. If something happens to the person that is donating the organs, they face something called an honor walk. And the song on that honor walk was Brother by Let Me Breathe, or Free to Breathe. And that song spoke to me. I'm not religious, but the more I listened to it through the honor walk, the more I thought about people in my life that I actually care about, like my mom and dad, and people like Bob McGrath or Mickey Dolenz of the Monkees. If it's one thing that Bob has taught us, and people in your life may have taught you, if they're good people in a sense, that you take each day as it comes. You don't take a day for granted. You get out there, grab the bull by the horns, and let people know you're coming. And as I've said, I'm trying to keep this channel operational and give people what they want, and that is old memories of Sesame Street, long before Elmo, the little red idiot, showed up. I think it's rather sad that today's generation would rather go for Elmo than, say, people like Olivia, David, Maria, Mr. Hooper, and even Bob. When I went and had my teddy bear made, the lady says, I love the bear's name. And I said, yeah, it's named after Bob McGrath of Sesame Street. And she looked at me like, who? And I said, Bob McGrath. He was the music teacher on Sesame Street for many, many, many years. And she's like, oh, I never really watched Sesame Street. And that's kind of scary. I'm afraid that if we don't keep up the fight for our friend Bob McGrath and other members of the cast, that people are going to start to forget. And I don't want that to happen. Surely you could understand that. I know I should be doing a podcast, but this is just a regular old chat. I'm hoping other people will come in and suggest ideas on what we can talk about. I really could use a little bit of inspiration, as it were. And speaking of that, I was able to do some looking around on YouTube, just being bored out of my mind until my doctor's appointment in August or October. You know, I was looking for different episodes that, you know, whether they're full or they're street scenes. I was looking for more storylines that involved some of the cast members from way back in the day. I know I did a big video on the Hawaii trip itself. But I did manage to come across a few episodes where the Sesame crowd is getting ready to raise funds so they could all go to Hawaii when Buffy invites the crew to come to Hawaii, which we all know is kind of like a visit, learning experience, and for Cody's birthday party. And the videos that I found were real good quality compared to the ones that I have for the actual trip. So I think what I'm going to do, as soon as I can get them found and uploaded in a lead up to that trip, maybe I'll put it in a Hawaii list. Unless I could find good, clear copies of all the episodes of Hawaii, where the crew went to Hawaii, I'm not going to try and recut that, because the actual trip itself, where the day they leave, it took a lot of time and a hell of a lot of effort to do. And I know YouTube can be a much better platform, better served anyway, if you take a good storyline like, say, Hawaii. You could put it all in one video and people could watch it and not have to go flipping from video to video to video. I don't know about the ad situation on that, if there are any. If there are, the ad thing is not my idea. If you have things like copywritten material, you eventually get ads on your videos. I know the Bob Has Been Burgled one has ads on it. I think the one where Maria goes to the hospital has ads on it. Which is kind of shameful, you know, but it helps keep the site alive, as it were, to keep the servers running and all that shit. So, yeah. But I wanted to get on here and talk to you guys real quick. I talked to you guys on the podcast about doing something special for Bob McGrath. The one thing I did special was make that bear for Bob McGrath. And the other thing I'm waiting on is a satin cape made in his memory, so I could wear it either on his anniversary or just when I jolly well feel like it. Somebody has to carry on the legacy of Robert Emmett McGrath, right? I can't sing like him, but we can keep his face and likeness around for years to come. I don't want people to forget about Bob McGrath. In fact, let me see something here. There was something that Bob's page had posted. Let's see. Get down here. And let's see here. Let me see here, people. Bob McGrath. I'll go to his page. Bob's page had posted Bob's alma mater, the University of Michigan, remembered him in the University of Michigan School of Music and Music, Theater, and Dance in Muse magazine. We thank the school for this lovely tribute from the school. Bob had wonderful college experience and received excellent classical and vocal training at UM from professors Mike Vernice, opera conductor and composer Joel Blatt, Harold Howe, and his beloved University of Michigan's Glee Club, which was under the direction of Philip A. Dewey. It says here, Bob was the first freshman in the club's history. He was the first one to become president of the men's glee club and the School of Music class, and was honored by the club with a Lifetime Achievement Award. Over the course of his years at UM, he performed many times at Hill Auditorium, which he would often recall with great fondness. That glee club has been like a family to Bob. He remained lifelong friends with many of his fellow singers and made new friends with club members over the years. After he passed, the club got together and sang Danny Boy at the spring concert to honor him. The club's current music director, Mark Stover, videotaped one of their rehearsals and offered it to our family to play it at a gathering hosted by Sesame Workshop to celebrate Bob's life. UM's alum Steve Ramsey introduced the video. It was one of the most heartwarming moments of that program. And they thanked everyone at University of Michigan who has celebrated and honored their dad, a man who loved to sing and bring the joy of music to everyone he met. Go Blue, they said. And I found a young picture of him from UM. And it's from his page. And I don't know if I'm going to share it here, but yeah. Go to Bob McGrath on Facebook. I'll give you the icon here in just a second. It's got him in his blue sweater, and he's smiling. So, yeah. Look for Bob McGrath on Facebook. And they show a really young picture of him. I can't tell you what age he was here, but he was stinking adorable. But yeah. Robert Emmett McGrath was honored by the University of Michigan. Can you believe that? You know, and he was the first guy in that club to become president. And he would meet future members of that club throughout the years. And that's pretty damn cool. And to have lifelong friendships with some of those, that's what I mean by real brotherhood, man. That's what I mean by real brotherhood. And as they say, if you see somebody that you like and you meet them, chances are you'll see them again. I've had that happen with a couple people in my life. One of my elementary school teachers, Jane Ahrens, I ran into her a couple times over the years. She used to be my teacher when I was about yay high to a grasshopper. And one day she was up at Hemming over at Lazarus. And I remembered her, and she remembered me. Another moment in time that I remember is my old cab driver, Johnny. You know, we always called him Johnny. I ran into him twice in the past since school. So, yeah. My buddy Johnny was a taxi driver that used to take me to school in my early years. You know, this was after preschool, so a taxi would come to get me and take me to school, and Johnny was that driver. And as the years passed, we you know, as kids often do, we grow up, and we move on with our lives. And one day you could be in some place like a grocery store. You wouldn't be looking at them, but if a person really knows you, and calls out your name and you respond back, that's how you know you had a good friend when you were really young. So trust me, I know what I'm talking about. Because one day my mom and I were at the little Kroger up on East Main, which is now gone. But we were in one of the aisles, and he noticed me talking with my mom. And he's like, Pam? And I said, Johnny? I said, you used to drive me to school, didn't you? And he says, yeah. He says, I thought that was you. I still remember you as that little girl with the red dress and white aprons on it. And I said, oh, really? And I said, Mom. I said, you know who this is? And she's like, no. And I said, Johnny the cab driver? The big burly guy? And she's like, oh, yeah. We talked again. We talked with each other for a few minutes, and then he had to go. And then the last time I ever saw him before he died was at the old Kmart on Bryce Road, where I used to go and get my medications and shop all the time. And he says, you're in a power chair now. And I said, yeah. I said, yeah, my body's shot, man. I wasn't quite 50 then. I said, yeah, my body's pretty shot there, Pard, but I'm still here. That's the main thing. I'm still here. And we talked for a few minutes, and then he had to go. And I said, you take care of yourself. And he says, yeah, you too. And that was the last time I ever saw him. And it was not long after that he had passed away from whatever it was he had. So, yeah. It's like I said, Bob was one of those guys. You could see him on the street and people would just love him. Just love him, love him, love him. Women going up on the streets and crying. Some from probably back in the day when they had Mitch Miller, and some with the Sesame Street crowd. I don't know if he really understood the scope of the impact that he did have on people. And it's a sad day when people at Sesame Workshop or HBO Max, I still have daggers for that. They would rather pass up great people like Bob McGrath, Roscoe Orman, Emilio Delgado, Alana Reed, Will Lee, and any other human character on that show for Muppet characters. Now, no offense against the Muppets, but I always liked the human and monster and bird type balance that the show had. But now we don't really have that anymore. And people aren't going to know what great people the humans really were. And that's a shame. That's why I'm fighting so hard to preserve the good points of Sesame Street. Not just the human and Muppets, but Jim Henson, Joan Cants Cooney. And it wasn't about a red Muppet all the time. Mm-mm. You don't even see Natasha or her parents anymore. You don't see Cookie Monster working with any other Muppets or humans on Sesame Street. So, yeah, they're kind of stuck in little skits. And when you watch Sesame Street when we grew up, there was an actual story there. I think one of the last heartbreaking stories, to be honest, is the one about the hurricane. Where Big Bird is upset that his nest is gone and everything he knows has been uprooted. But he learns that with a little help and a lot of compassion, you can get your things back. You could replace things. You can't replace the person or animal with that. So, yeah. But I thought I'd get on here real quick for about 20 minutes and let you know that my little package that I'm waiting on will be on the way sometime this week. She said either Monday or Tuesday. So I'm anxiously awaiting that. So if you guys have any topics you want to talk about in terms of Sesame Street, we can do that. And I'm sad to see that people like Olivia are only known through scratchy videotape. That's why I'm always on the lookout for good quality video. Um, I'm talking where we could maybe put the stories together. I would share like animated segments, but I don't want to get in trouble with any of the creators of those shorts that don't want their little shorts back up here on YouTube. Why? I don't know. Because I know there's a lot of people that want to remember the pinball segments, the ladybug picnic segments. I don't want to live on the moon, that kind of stuff. Even where the letters are going up the side of the building. Um, and I remember hearing about James Taylor and Jellyman Kelly. Where he says, "Oh, Jenny, come home, Jenny, Kenny, come home, Jenny, Kenny, come." And I find myself singing that. And who could forget the three dancing guys while waiting for the bus? I saw that in the 90s, where Bill Irwin and his two friends, they're actually dancing partners. They act like guys waiting for the bus, going to their respective jobs. And Bill Irwin's character doesn't really like the mix of music that's on the radio, but then he comes back to that particular piece of music and he tries to groove with it and move with it. And he's not really flexible, as they say. And the two guys that are with him try to teach him how to dance. But then he does like this Charleston walk, and he tries to teach the other two how to do the Charleston walk. So rather than take the bus, they dance to work. So, yeah, that's what I mean by a brilliant piece of writing. And it gives you a good laugh should you need one. So, yeah. We must never ever forget Bob McGrath and any of the human characters of Sesame Street. That's chemistry. We have lost most of that chemistry. So, when my package comes, I'll be sure to share it with you. But if you want to pay homage to Bob McGrath, you could do it in your own inimitable way. You could do art if you want. You can have a bear made. You could have even a fancy satin cape made in honor of Bob. So hopefully my package will be here in a few days. But the lady says in the messages here, she says everything is good and on track to ship tomorrow or Tuesday. So, yeah. Because it's supposed to be here sometime around the 5th or the 6th of October. So, yeah. So, I hope you all have a good Sunday night. And I hope to get back on sometime this week and we could do another discussion. But trust me, I'm keeping an eye out for any good, clear episodes. And if I find the opening bits to the Hawaii story, I'll be sure to post it as the lead up to the trip to Hawaii. Because I actually cut together the episodes from where Big Bird and Snuffy were getting ready to pack for the trip. And Big Bird has his ball in the suitcase, but he doesn't realize that you don't have to have air in your ball to take it in your suitcase. So Bob deflates his beach ball so he could take it with him to the beach. So, yeah. I intend to keep up the work on this channel. It's going to take me some time. If you want to watch the Christmas one, I'll be sure to share the link. I have it up on another website. But if you want that, you'll have to join my Facebook group for that. I'm not going to give YouTube the satisfaction. Nope. They only want the money for you to buy the movie so you can watch it. Um, if you have any memories of Sesame Street, please make a video and you can drop it on your channel. And I'll be sure to save people's stories of Sesame Street in a playlist in the future. Hopefully someday I'll figure out how to scan my Sesame Street live pictures. I went to a couple of Sesame Street lives in my day. I think one was Sleeping Birdie and the other one was Super Grover's Ready for Action, which I think both shows were good. And I think Sesame Street as a whole needs to be preserved, needs to be looked after. But like I said, Elmo is going to be very limited on this channel. Sorry to the Elmo lovers out there, but he is not my favorite. And I think they kind of missed their cue on what the mission for Sesame Street is. It's not about who's the most popular Muppet character. It's about molding and shaping young minds to get them ready for preschool up through third grade. So, yeah. Well, you guys have a good Sunday, and I will talk at you again soon.